Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Career Mindset Podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates with most all of us, the pursuit of personal and professional alignment. At Larod Coaching, my mission is to empower individuals and teams to break free from limitations and discover their true path in life. In this episode, we will explore the art of living our truth and share three powerful tips that can help us on our journey. First tip, embrace your authenticity. Embracing our true self is the very first step to personal transformation. We will discuss later how recognizing and embracing our uniqueness can open doors to new possibilities in our career and life. Tip number two, cultivate a growth mindset. The power of mindset cannot be underestimated. So, we will delve into how adapting a growth mindset can reshape our approach to challenges and opportunities, enabling us to navigate our path with confidence. And tip number three, explore your inner adventure. Discover how connecting with your adventurous spirit can lead you to a life of excitement, fulfillment, and alignment with your deepest aspirations. So, whether you're a business leader or a soulful entrepreneur, or just simply someone seeking alignment in your journey and your life, this episode has something valuable to offer. Let's embark on this transformative conversation together as we will aim to live our truth. Stay tuned because my guest today shares her wisdom and experiences to inspire us on our path to personal and professional growth. See you later. Today's guest is a very powerful woman. You will find her doing asanas, the yoga poses on the streets, taking pictures on a handstand, traveling around the world and enjoying a cup of hot cappuccino. I met her in a small village in Spain, and what I admired the most was how easy she shared her kindness, her love and wisdom for the very first moment. I think that she came to this world to help others, and she does this by helping other yoga instructors in their very first steps of entrepreneurship. Today with me is the awesomeness, Julie Tara Pierce. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here today with me.
Thank you, Fenya. It's such an honor to be here with you. And oh my gosh, your energy is just contagious. And I love being in the same space with you. So
thank you so much. And I love your vibes.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's start because I'm really curious with your story. And so the first question is about you sharing your story and mostly what inspired you to become a business and mindset coach, yoga teacher, an entrepreneur, and an author, because as I know, you just recently launched your first book, right? And how do these roles contribute to your mission of helping people live their truth?
Okay, so where do I begin? So let's see. So what inspired me to become all of the titles, all of the hats that you just
please.
mentioned, it's a kind of a convoluted, complicated journey. My background, I'm actually an American attorney. And I grew up with that idea that, with that pressure that I needed to choose one track in life, doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I needed to become one of those things. And that would mean success.
Exactly.
And over the years, as I studied, and I love school, I love studying, but as I followed this track and I did what I was expected to do, I realized I had so many different passions. And I think there were a lot of naysayers along the way who would say, well, you can't do this. You have to focus on this one thing. And over time, I really struggled with that idea of what is my purpose? Why do I have all of these passions if I'm supposed to do this one track? And over time, I just started realizing, wait a second, I need to figure out what my purpose is on this planet. And I started practicing yoga and I started writing more and more. And things just started aligning. And I started realizing that my truth, that I really needed to live my truth was actually being being honest with myself about what my passions were and what my purpose is, and really accepting that I don't actually need to wear one hat. I don't need to be one track. It's okay to want to do
Yes.
everything. And I am by nature, I'm a free spirit. I need to be everywhere. I need to be doing many
Yeah.
projects. I'm not limited to one thing. And I think I realized that I needed to be okay with doing many things. And
Yes.
as I became more truthful with what my personal passions were, everything started coming into alignment. But it really involved this out of the box thinking, this self acceptance, and just a journey along the way to realize, hey, I can wear many different hats. I don't have to
Mhm.
say, if I'm doing this, it means this. And just trying to bring those things into alignment. And as soon as I did, I started realizing, wow, the yoga teacher aspect, the business coach, my legal background actually flows into being that yoga business coach. And
Yes.
I love to help women become, like, release that inner rebel and become their authentic selves, get unstuck, live their truth. And
Love it.
and that's how I came to be.
Oh my God, that's awesome and so powerful. I mean, and I think it takes courage to just face your truth and your authenticity and just be okay with that, because most of the times we have learned to follow different dreams that we believe that they are ours, and then I think that that makes it more complicated and challenging. But you did it. You decided to just face it and understand your real purpose and just go with it. And it's okay to embrace different things that maybe not they're not the same, but still you're willing to go and explore them and make them yours, right?
Exactly. And to be honest, it wasn't an easy journey. I felt, as I was over the years trying to find this, I felt like there weren't necessarily a lot of mentors. Weren't a lot of, at the time, it seemed, a lot of women who were kind of embracing like an alternative track. At least this, I'm talking, this is like pre-social media time. This is pre-Instagram. So
Mhm.
it was kind of a lonely, scary route to kind of be outside of the box in this creative thinking. But I knew within me, I knew that I had some other purpose, that there was something more, that I could combine all of these passions and these dreams. And it just really took a lot of just saying, I'm going to do this. I've been conditioned by and socialized to believe that you need only one path for success. But then when I
Yes.
realized you can design your own life, you can create your own life. And I think that's when the pieces started coming together.
That's awesome, and for me, it's the most important message that we can just share to the world and the people around us. The next question is how, with I mean, as someone with so many multiple hats, right? We just mentioned them in the first question. How can you balance these different roles and maintain this alignment with your own truth and purpose? Because sometimes I think trying to do too many different things, we just get lost in the process. So how do you find your balance with that?
It's that is such a good question, and it's something that really does take a little bit of effort for me, because I am all over the place. Um,
Okay.
Yoga is definitely something that helps, really taking time for myself and being present. And this is actually one of the ways that I do balance all of these different hats, is by through my writing. I have found that in every project I do, my writing is that strand that really pulls everything together. So for example, one thing I love to do, I'm not exactly like this super planner. I don't like
Okay.
the whole Google Calendar concept. To me, is overwhelming. I like the old paper, the old fashioned thing. But I have found, like, if I get up in the morning and I take 5 to 15 minutes just to write, kind of like stream of conscious writing, I'm writing all my thoughts. I get kind of all my stress out. I get my focus, and it helps me align, and it helps me to realize, what are my priorities with all of these different hats? Where is my direction for the day? What are my goals? At the end of the day, what are the 1, 2, and 3 things that I want to accomplish? Just really looking at it that way. And some people
Yes.
keep detailed checklists, and that works for them. For me,
Yeah.
it's just more this global thing. And as I'm moving through my day and flowing through my day, I'm trying to stay aware of those top priorities that I outlined for myself. And at
Mhm.
the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I did that. I made
Yes.
that. I'm making forward progress. And I yeah. That's how I do this.
Wow. Thank you for sharing this way, because I know that there are too many different ways helping us, helpful and useful ways doing things to to become more grounded again, and being present. It's so important to be present. However, it's very important to try different ways in order to understand what works for me, what works for you. Doesn't mean that everything works for everyone. So by just trying different things, it's the only way to find out what works for us. And thank you for sharing your own beautiful way of getting grounded and just managing your stress. Next question, it's about your journey, because I want to know, how have you observed rebellious and soulful business leaders finding their path, and what common challenges do they face when trying to get unstuck and aligned in their careers?
I think if I can identify perhaps the number one challenge that I think keeps people stuck, women, men, you name it, I think it's imposter syndrome. I think there are so many highly talented, creative, just amazing individuals out there. They have incredible dreams. Sometimes the dreams are well defined. Sometimes they're rough ideas. But what gets people stuck over and over again, I think, is imposter syndrome. Whether it's fear of perfectionism, self-doubt, self-sabotage, it's just getting stuck. I think of it as kind of putting up your own roadblocks. You are stuck essentially because of yourself.
Exactly.
But it doesn't.
I'm one of them. I know that. I'm working on it.
And the thing is, I mean, in some of the most talented and capable people, I mean, they struggle with this, and I actually look at it as it's not actually a bad thing. It's an empowering thing once you connect with it and you accept and realize it's something, and you can actually transform it, shift your mindset and say, hey, this is where I struggle with this. And I find that being vulnerable about it, for example, coming on a podcast with you and on a video, like videos just make me so nervous. But I feel like if you're honest with the people, with your audience, and you speak your truth, I think it's the best way to overcome imposter syndrome. And I think it's just more and more practice and getting out there and putting yourself out there and staying consistent, just being persistent, staying consistent. And eventually you get through that hurdle.
So important. And thank you for being here once again, just practicing your own fears of being in front of the camera. I do the same. I have this imposter syndrome from years now, and I embrace my mission, and my message is to help people become their authentic selves. But it's like I have to do it fast in order to be able to help others, and I need to make the first step and show up, in the YouTube, in the camera, out there with my real self, my authentic self, as I am today now. And it's terrifying, but on the other hand, this is what I do. This is my own way of changing the world, and yours as well. So thank you.
You are definitely changing the world, Fenya. Anyone who
my God.
you knows that you changed the world.
We changed the world together. That's why we are here today. Okay, I want you to share now a specific success story where you guided an adventurous woman, maybe, or a man, I don't know, in breaking free from their limitations and living their truth. And what were the key strategies and mindset shifts involved?
Yes, of course. I recently worked with a woman who would fit the, I would say, American mold of like the suburban soccer mom. And I admit I relate to this because this was a little bit of my past. So I think we connected on this level. But she was from like a stereotypical view, like the suburban mom who kind of had this very like life patterned out. You follow this step and this is your life. You should be happy. Yeah. And she realized that she wanted more. She always had this dream to get out there and travel. She loved the idea of like digital nomad living, but she didn't know how to make this happen with her children, and especially how to get her spouse, but most importantly, her suburban network, her family and friends, to get them on board, like to agree, like, because if you are in suburbia and then all of a sudden you announce that you want to be this nomadic person, it can sound to some a little bit like, oh, that's a little far out there.
It's like a crazy thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we worked through this shift of really like self-acceptance. We began with research. I think one part to begin with is that idea that there are other people, there are other women that are doing what you want to do, kind of that self-acceptance, that validation of this idea, and recognizing in your mind that it's not actually as far-fetched of an idea. Like people do it, and they have amazing lives, and building that courage step by step, breaking through those limiting beliefs, those just that mindset that is established. And if you are something like, depending on where you live and where you're from, you can have these very entrenched beliefs that can really block you and keep you stuck and in one place. So we worked through some of these ideas, and we looked at what was out there, what other women, what other empowered women were doing, how they were shaping and defining their own lives. And I think that it had a powerful impact.
So nice. I mean, I don't know, here in Greece as well, and in the UK it's the same. People are afraid of how they will look like and what other people will say or think about them. It's like, I don't know, now the pandemic, right? And we just hide our authenticity with the fear of what other people will think of me. And just we
Exactly.
prefer to just hide our treasures and our strengths and our skills, and just don't live our dreams because of, oh my God, and what these people think of me. How do you
It's
see that, and how can you help people change this mindset?
I think I mean I agree with what you just said. I think that we often, it's easy to become paralyzed by what others expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what I enjoy is working with others to help them realize that they define their lives, they design their lives, that they are in, I like to say, the driver's seat of their life. I'm actually someone
Yes.
who loves driving. I'm crazy
I
about
love
driving, so I
it.
use that analogy. But really, we are in the driver's seat. If we allow someone else to be in the driver's seat, at the end
Mm,
of our life, we're going to realize we didn't live our life to the fullest. And we
yeah.
are on this planet, at least in my opinion, to live our dreams, to follow our passions, to make our purpose come to life. And we are driving, we designed this, so we have to overcome
Mm-hmm.
expectations. We need to define for ourselves what we want, and it ultimately rests with us, our happiness and our, basically, like, our personal success
Yeah.
and our accomplishments. They're driven by us. It's an internal.
So true. So true. Thank you for sharing that. So alignment is a crucial concept in your work, as you explained before. Could you explain now how individuals can identify when they're out of their alignment in their career, and what steps they can take to correct it and get back to this alignment?
This is such a good question.
Oh,
And again, I think this goes to, it falls into place with our expectations and
hmm,
what's around us. But I think
yeah,
one of the most important and powerful things, and this is where I really love yoga and how I find my yoga ties in, and also writing as well. But it's really tuning into our intuition. I think
mm,
women, it's not just women, but people in general, tuning into your intuition. I often believe our intuition is almost always spot on. Of course, we need to remain rational, but when something is out of sync, out of alignment, we feel it. We usually feel it in our bodies. Some people don't necessarily, some people are out of touch with that. So I think that it's important to, when you're thinking things aren't quite right in your life, or you're not
mm,
sure, you're struggling, really tuning inwards. And I like to do this through yoga, through meditation, through breath work, or through creative writing and journaling, just really tuning into ourselves and coming into yourself, and basically feeling, allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be present and to acknowledge what you're experiencing. And sometimes that's enough to just to be like, wow, I am actually, this is not the life I want, or this is
yes,
not what I like. And another aspect of that is just getting real with yourself and being honest. I don't like what's happening in my life, or I don't like my job. I love the people I work with, but my work that I'm doing, it doesn't fulfill me, it doesn't satisfy
yeah,
me. Is there something else? And just being real with ourselves.
Oh my God. I mean, it's amazing. And I have this thought that I had when I was younger, trying to figure out all these answers here. And it's hard. It's hard to just look yourself at the mirror and just do this conversation and ask yourself all these questions and confirm to yourself that, your life now, what you're living at this moment, it's not the life that you want to live. So you have to start changing it. Oh my God, it's
Yes.
terrifying.
And Fenia, you're right. It's so scary. It is so scary.
Yes.
Even small steps at times can be terrifying. And not to mention when it's a huge change, whether it's overhauling a work or changing where you
Yeah.
live or changing a relationship, it can be terrifying.
Yeah.
And it is standing in front of that mirror, the first step, and just being honest. Hey, I don't like the color of my toothbrush. Like I like whatever it is. Like, why did I put this colored lipstick on? It doesn't actually make me happy. And it's one of
Yeah.
those things that I feel like starting with small changes, every small decision in your life, you can ask yourself, does it actually
Yeah.
make me content? Am I doing what I
Exactly.
want to do?
Yeah.
And it's just really small steps and then building from there.
Yeah.
And with that, I think it's possible to get through some of that fear.
Fantastic. I mean, I totally agree on that. That's the easiest way to start, creating this journey for our lives is by asking ourselves, do I feel happy with that? Does this make me happy? Yes or no? Just that. And then everything else will come, right?
And with that, Fenya, does it make me happy as defined by myself?
Yes,
Because it's
exactly.
easy to say society tells
Yes.
me I should be happy.
Yes, thank
Exactly.
you.
Or my partner says I should be happy with this, or I
Yes.
have the dream. Why am I not happy or content? And yes,
Yeah,
happiness
fantastic.
as defined by you, because only you know what it feels like. Only you are in your body.
Yes, because you're the driver of your car and
Exactly.
your life.
You are the driver of your life. Absolutely.
Awesome. Wow, fantastic. Last question. So, your mission is all about helping people live their truth, right? And I'd like you to provide some actionable advice for our listeners who are looking to start their journey towards living their own truth, especially if they're feeling stuck or uncertain in their current career or life path. I mean, we just mentioned a very beautiful and easy way to start this journey by asking this question. But do you want to add anything else?
I do for sure. I mentioned it earlier, but I think writing. Not everyone thinks
Yeah.
of themselves as a writer, but I do think that journaling is unbelievably powerful. Even if it's writing on a scrap paper or grabbing your iPhone and just pulling up notes and writing a couple of things down. It could be simple. Perhaps I mean, you don't have to do anything fancy like writing poetry, but it could just be like, you know, I went I'm stuck in the checkout line today while you're waiting to pay for your groceries, and you're just like, I am like everyone around me is annoying me. Just
Yeah.
writing that down, it's like a truth. You to begin being truthful, identifying with what you're feeling and putting it into words, it can be so powerful. Getting up in the morning again,
Yeah.
stream of content, like just writing whatever comes to your mind. You never have to read it again. You don't need to edit what you've written. You can shred it after, you can burn it, but just letting everything out. And I think that allows you to start connecting with your own authentic self. It allows you to take that very first step in getting unstuck. It's just unbelievably powerful. So I really encourage people completely to write.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I do that and I believe in writing. I haven't gone yet to the stage of being a writer as you, and so I'm really curious to read your book. And yeah, guys, go for it. Go buy the book and send us your comments and your feedback on that. Thank you so much for all this amazing information and knowledge you just shared with me. It was a very powerful and insightful episode. I'd like to end this episode with a message. If you'd like to share a message to the people who listen to us today.
Yes, my closing message would be, we have one amazing, beautiful life. Of course, it's not always beautiful at times, but we have one life. And it is so important that you are living your truth, that everything you do is exactly what you want to do. And to share your gifts, be grateful, and just live your truth, be you.
Oh my God, you just give me goosebumps. Like every time that I meet you and talk with you, it's the same feeling. You're an amazing person. I've talked about with you the other time and I've shared my thoughts and my feelings for you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you today with me. And it's an amazing episode. Thank you all for listening to us today and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.